I'm CarlosFelipe Pardo. I am the Director of Slow Research, and I'm here with the BMW Guggenheim Lab. We're going to do a transit psychology tour. We hope to find out what that is by going with all these people on the subway, then walking, then we'll do a workshop, and in the evening we'll see what came out of that. Okay, the instructions are incredibly simple, to the extent that you will feel that you're wasting your time, but you're not. So we're going to go to the lab, which seems like you could have arrived there anyway, but the important thing is that in the lab we'll do a workshop, and we'll discuss many things that have to do with the trip that we're going to take now. I need you to all imagine that you are living at the Guggenheim or nearby, and that you're going to work at the lab. So it's a regular commuting trip, yeah? The only rules are, okay, there's many rules, but then the basic rules are, we must take the subway on 86th, is it? Yeah. We must go to Union Square by subway, any train, whatever you want. But basically it's a 6th local to Union Square. That's the first thing. Right? You can do whatever you want as long as you arrive on Union Square and get off there. The second thing you have to do is walk from Union Square to the lab. There's some research done previously about how people perceive a space, and I'm going to ask people to draw things, like to draw the tour that they just did, the trip that they just did. And they'll have a lot of colors and they'll have blank sheets of paper, so we'll compare what they drew when they were thinking about the trip on the subway and what they drew when they were thinking about the trip walking. See if there's any differences, and there have been differences in other experiences, just that it has never been done this way. It has never been done like so live. It's never been done with adults, it's always been done with children, and it's actually very few times been done with trips. It's always been done with neighborhoods, where you live or where you work. Let's see if something comes out of that. I'm going to ask you to think for now only on the subway portion of the trip. From the moment that you got on 86th Street, going down the stairs, until you got off at Union Square. Don't think about anything else, and use the markers. There's a lot of colors, and you can use the markers to draw that trip. Yeah? It's going to be very fun. Draw the walking portion. Forget about the subway portion. Start drawing the walking portion of your trip. People should have a nice experience when they're traveling. And I think we should see how people feel when they're going in one mode of transport or the other, right? Which is more insightful, where they can think about it, where they're more stimulated by what they're seeing. There's some sociologists, for example, says that when you're in transport, you're in no place. It's not a place. You should not even think about anything. I'm trying to sort of have the opposite argument. There's a lot of things that you can do while you're traveling, and you should make the best out of it. And we'll see if one mode or another is nicer for that or not. We'll see.
Pero
Sí, the connections right across.
digamos que lo pones por acá y yo lo pongo por
Sí,
acá.
está más o menos.
So,
people. There are more people in a small space as compared to the street where people are constantly walking. There may not be as many people around you as compared to a train, but I was more oblivious on the train than I was on the street. So I just remember getting on, getting off, leaving the train station, whereas walking, I pointed out several things to the people I was walking with.
Data, it was pretty clear. There was the subway that was on the left side, most of the things were on the left side, and walking was on the right side. And in their drawings, there was a lot more color in the walking versus the subway.
I got these things at 2 p.m. I had to take pictures of all of them and crop them and put them in a presentation. So I would love to have given a more thorough thing, but I just wanted to show you what came up. I guess you see that there are different points of view regarding a trip and how a trip is seen now, and it is represented graphically. And now the other part, what happens with the semantic differential? I want you to look at this closely. You will not be able to see what it says on the letters, but then what you can see is that the red one is walking, and the blue one is going on the subway. So I have to explain how this works. If you go more towards the left, where you get towards the left, it means it wasn't so nice. If you go more towards the right, it means it was nicer. And this is the average of all the evaluations. It was the average of the 21 people who filled out the questionnaire. So what you see is that, in general, walking gets a higher average. So it's a nicer trip for everyone than the subway trip. And this was something that I was really scared of what would come up. And if you see, it's every variable except 2 are higher or have a nicer or more joyful or more comfortable or whatever, right? That in walking than in the subway. But I divided them into 3. So now you can see, so the subway is sadder than walking. Walking is more of a place than going on the subway. Walking is more thoughtful than going on the subway. The subway is more secretive than walking. And the subway is more isolated, while walking is more social. Where was the subway better? It was more complex than walking.
Simple.
That's where it was
More
better.
simple. More simple. It was
No,
more
walking was more simple than the subway.
simple. No, the subway was more simple.
Yeah, that's the evaluation. Yeah, complex would be the higher rating. Yeah. So we have aesthetic, walking is more aesthetic, walking is more beautiful, walking is newer, walking is more varied, walking is simpler, walking is more colorful, more playful, more unexpected, and more interesting.
What we found is that, first of all, people do show or draw their trips differently, depending on what they're using. If they're using a subway, they're going to show it differently than when they're walking. There may be more color in one, it may have more detail in one, it may have less straight lines in one, it may be more straight lines in the other. And all these things, like, still have to keep on analyzing what came up. In the quantitative stuff, in the survey, what I could find was that when people were walking, they would rate it more positively. It would be more joyful, it would be happier, more positive attributes compared to a subway ride. So these things, like the survey, the specific semantic differential has never been used in transport. It's the first time it's been used in transport, and I think it was very useful to start doing this and to start finding how people rate these things. And then the maps have been used in other contexts and in other places, and sometimes in transport, but it's always useful to find these other dimensions of how people understand their trip and how people understand how they're traveling and how they show others the way that they're moving, which is what I hope we can continue with this. I think the experience here was very positive in the sense that at least I could start doing this like more substantially and more systematically to keep on finding more things in the future. Ways you can say subway rides could be better. You can also say people could walk more, or people may enjoy more when they're walking. So that way we could have like more tools to see, okay, what is it that they like the most? What is it that they rate more positively or more negatively in one or the other? How can we build that onto improvements of public transport or walkways or urban design in general? That would be the most useful information we could take in order to apply it to improving the urban setting. We should keep on doing this. Like, more people should continue doing this and finding more data and finding more of these things, like more qualitative information, better like in-depth understanding of how people feel and act upon situations of one mode or using one mode or using the other, because it still needs a lot. We have a lot of engineering, but we still need a lot of social sciences working on these things.